Hi, Jewish mom. So I want to wish you a Chanukah Sameach. From my kitchen, you can see all the beautiful Chanukiot that we're going to be lighting tonight behind me on our windowsill. There's also a few dirty dishes, but I think that we're going to keep the phone up so that you can't see the dirty dishes, and this is the Chanukiot, or anyway much nicer to look at. I want to tell you a little story that just happened to me a few minutes ago. I went to the neighborhood convenience store to pick up some last few things before Chanukah, and I ran into a young mom that I know, and this is a young mom. She was born in the Ukraine, and she wasn't born Jewish. I believe her father was Jewish and her mother wasn't. So when she was a teenager, she converted to Judaism, and now Baruch Hashem, she's married to another Russian-speaking convert. She got a bunch of little kids, and she is one of the most sincerely religious and spiritual people that I know. So we were kind of making small talk by the cashier there. I'm at the convenience store. We were both buying like Chanukah stuff, and I said to her, I said, so how old is your oldest now? And she showed me a picture of her daughter, who's now 5.5. And I said, wow, she's 5.5. And this woman, she closes her eyes like this, and she goes like this, and she says, "Tzarich rak lehodot." We should only give thanks. And what was remarkable was just seeing her do this with such focus, and so like at that moment, just she, like a lot of people will just say it like, oh yeah, we should, tzrich lehodot, we should give thanks. Yeah, I'm so grateful. Just seeing her at that moment, like being so mindful and being tzarich rak lehodot. We need to just give thanks. I saw her like focusing on. Maybe I'm imagining it, but focusing on like where she came from, how she grew up. She's living now in Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, married with Baruch Hashem, a nice little with a bunch of little kids, and just like focusing on all that she has. And I feel like that is Chanukah, like that mindfulness, like being mindfully grateful is Chanukah. I've been listening to an audiobook. I've gotten really into audiobooks, I've told you. So I'm listening to an audiobook about mindfulness. And listening to this book, I'm just thinking how Judaism is such a mindful religion. Just thinking about, there's a chapter in this book about how to eat mindfully. And I'm like, look, like you're telling me how to eat mindfully? Look at like how we eat, how Jews eat, how we sit down, we thank God for what we're about to eat. And we think about what are we exactly going to eat. We connect, okay, this is mizonot, this is priya etz, is this a fruit, is this a grain, what are we eating? And connecting it on afterwards saying the after bracha, and connecting all of this back to God and God's blessings. So something beautiful in Chanukah that I love to do is I think Chanukah is quite possibly my favorite holiday of the year. And my favorite moments of this favorite holiday of the year are when I sit for half an hour every night, without exception, if possible, and I sit and I watch my candles. And during that time, I don't do any work. I do not get up. I don't answer the phone. I don't turn off the stove. I don't answer the door. My child says, "Ima," I don't come. Unless it's a real life-threatening emergency, otherwise I get someone else to help. This is half an hour every night of Chanukah that Ima does not get up. I do not do anything. All I do is I sit and I watch my candles. And I think about my candles and I contemplate the lights of Chanukah. Something that I learned that I learned in this mindfulness book. That I've been trying to put into practice, and I'm looking forward to doing tonight when I'm looking at my candles, is just trying to be in the present moment. So so often I'll be worried, or all of us will be worried about what's about to be, like, in an hour I have to do this, or tomorrow morning I have to take the kids to this, or even later this night I have to wash these dishes. Okay, I have to wash these dishes, and all the things that are going to be, or the things that were. Oh, on Shabbat, why did I do this, and why did I do this, and my husband and my daughter and my son and da 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 da. Regrets and guilt and all the thinking about what was. No, but mindfulness, just like be here. And what's a technique to just be here? This is so simple. You breathe out and you say to yourself, out. And you breathe in and you say, in. Out, in. Out, in. And it brings you fully focused on your breath. And in this mindfulness, another thing the author recommends is to give yourself reminders. A reminder. I was thinking I could put a reminder in my Google Calendar to just smile, to have like a Mona Lisa smile, that I'm smiling to myself. So I've been walking around like this. Mona Lisa smile. That's like a little, and really I feel like it really makes the world, it makes my life so much brighter to be smiling like that. It really, and also like we know, like probably you've heard, like the physiological impact of smiling, like it triggers all sorts of chemicals in your brain to have like a feeling of wellness and a feeling of everything's okay. So this is your assignment, okay? So sit down, watching your candles. This is what I'm going to be doing. Sitting there, I'm watching my candles, breathing in, breathing out, in, out, with a smile, Mona Lisa smile. And I just want to suggest another thing that I heard this past Shabbat from our neighborhood teacher, Rabbanit Anat Mishnayot. She was saying, we look at our candles on Chanukah, but look at the other lights around us, our children. Look at the neshamot. Look at the people in our families. It's not only the light of the candles that are lighting up our homes and our lives. It's these people, these little people, and our husbands and our relatives, just looking around us just during that half an hour. Or if you can manage 5 minutes, do 5 minutes. If you can manage 2 minutes, do 2 minutes. Sit down, don't get up. Look at your candles. Look at the magical light, like the magical purity of the light of the Chanukah lights. Look around at your kids. And breathe in, out, and smile. Okay, so Chanukah Sameach. Have a wonderful, wonderful Chanukah.